Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Probably give it like a second before everybody shows up. But you know what? Screw it. We can just start out right now. So this is going to be the pilot episode of the Conditional Branch podcast. So hopefully everybody is excited because we certainly are. Yes, Ozzy, we saw you first. Yeah. You think you're special? Well, you are because you are the first one to post. So yeah. But yeah, we are going to be. I'm here with my co-hosts 1063 and
Hi.
Aaron.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. And that will be our start. Welcome in. Scattered Sprites, welcome in. Fortuna,
He's
welcome
with
in.
Me.
Yeah, you.
He's with me. He's a sexy boy.
Well, all right. Well, there's the tone setter right there. All right.
So what are we gonna do today?
Well, today we had a bit of an introduction. That was our plan today, just because this was basically going to be a hello, nice to meet you kind of podcast. So our plan was just to kind of go around the table, just kind of give a little introduction and just say why we're here, what our backgrounds are, and because we don't want to get too friendly with each other, we have some hot takes that we prepared beforehand. So we're going to get started with those.
Well, let's introduce ourselves first. I want to hear about you guys. Come on, show me what you got.
Oh yeah, us. All right. Well, I guess since I'm the one that introduced everybody here, I guess I should go first. So, gonna put my own neck on the chopping block here first. So, I'm Nova. You all can call me Nova. I've been working with RPG Maker for about it's been a decade. I first started in 2013. I'm a big fan of character-driven RPGs, and my favorite thing to do is narrative design, which is ways that you can blend in storytelling with gameplay mechanics. So that's my passion, and I will continue doing that for as long as I can. All right. Next up, 10.
I'll go next.
Okay. Or
Oh, well, fine. If you would rather talk to 10 first, that's fine.
well, I mean, it's not about what I would want to 10. Go ahead, please get me out of this.
No,
Get me out of this corner. Get me out of this corner, please.
You dug this hole, buddy. Dig it out.
Help!
Aaron.
Okay, I will go first, or next, I guess. Hi, I'm Aaron, otherwise known on Twitch as The Great Perhaps, just to be confusing. I have been working in RPG Maker consistently for about 5 years now, but technically I started when I was a teenager. We found a copy of the PS2 version of RPG Maker in GameStop for like $3 and picked it up. But yeah, and I didn't touch it since then for probably about 15 years, but been, like I said, consistently working on it since 2020, late 2020, early 2021. And similar to Nova, my favorite thing is also somewhat narrative design, but focusing more on player experience and the way that a player can get invested in a world through storytelling. So similar vein, but slightly different focus.
Very, very nice. All right.
Just
Ken?
a quick tester. They're saying that I'm quiet. Am I still quiet, guys?
I mean, you're not quiet to me, but I can raise up the desktop audio just a little bit more, and then reduce the.
Okay, so no, it was because I was talking soft.
Okay. So I guess just scream more.
Okay.
Don't encourage that.
Okay.
I think it's gonna happen whether I encourage it or not.
Fair.
Are you guys done?
The floor is yours.
Yep.
Sweet. I'm 1063. I'm the pervert of the group. I have been working with RPG Maker since the PlayStation. Well, actually, no, I've been working with RPG Maker since it was brought to America illegally through pirating software, and people were using fan translations to get it to where this was before even the PlayStation 1 version. So, like, my first official version of RPG Maker was the PlayStation version. and I've just, I haven't really touched it since, but I only started working on it again since I found out they were officially releasing MV, and I was like, oh, cool, they're releasing this thing officially. So I decided to play with it, and I finally learned how to do it. I like game dev in general, though. Mostly I like the visual aspects of it, from like pixel art to like doing background designs. I love anything related to doing pixel art. And I just like drawing cute girls too, because I'm the pervert of the group, as everyone, especially Rags, likes to say. Ragnarok aesthetic, you bastard.
What are you dragging Rag into this? You admit that for yourself.
Hey.
It's almost like
Hey,
it's not a
hey.
diss if you admit it. You own it.
Listen, I own it. I have it on my cover, looking me in the eye every time I go to sleep. It looks at me saying, you know what you want to do.
You might want to talk to someone about that.
Yeah, I have. He says.
Yeah, but
he
making
gave us
RPG
the
Maker
meds.
games is much cheaper. You
It
don't need
really
therapy.
is. Yeah, this is very true. I can I could just draw cute girls doing bad things.
On that note,
Yeah, on that
On
note.
that note,
Yeah, so let's see. What we have here is our main plan here is to basically get at each other's throats already. Because just a general
Yeah.
introduction is a little too, friendly. And we don't need to be friendly here. But
Fuck
before
no,
we get
hell
into
no.
that, our main goal of this podcast is basically just kind of sit around and rant about stuff that's been on our mind about game design lately. Not necessarily with RPG Maker. So we can expect a lot of just general game design talk, like if we've been playing a game recently that gets us thinking, or if we see something like on the news about like some kind of game, like weird design decisions, and it's like, okay, yeah, we can move on and talk about that. And our goal here is to help promote discussion. So we would like to ideally have some different opinions to bring to the table. So with that, we can come to it at a place of mutual respect and understanding and have a little chat about why we feel the way that we do. Right? And that will be our general goal. So does anyone else have anything to add to that?
I think we're good. I think we're
Yeah.
good to start. I think we're good to pull the knives out.
All right, cool. Let's get started. Cracking knuckles.
I'll be Jamie Lee Curtis.
Let's get moving. Come again?
I said I'll be Jamie Lee Curtis.
All right, go for it. Since you're so
You've never
eager.
seen Knives Out.
No,
No,
I have
no,
not.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just kind of sit back and relax. I want you to go, Nova. This is
Oh,
your
okay.
stream.
All right.
baby
So me
cakes.
starting off with the hot take, so you can start arguing with it. All right.
Uh-huh.
It's easy. It's easy to take sniper shots, and when you're not the one that's out there. Huh?
It's not a sniper shot if I don't have a sniper rifle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Fine. I guess I can get started then. So, a hot take that I like, hot take that I'm all about. So one of the ideas that we had was talking about tropes that we see all the time that we don't like, and tropes that we like unironically, but the general public dislikes. So I'm going to start with the latter. The former. Tropes that we like, but everyone dislikes. So I have actually always been a fan of the edgy main character. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that's right. So ever since I first played Shadow the Hedgehog, way back in the GameCube era, I unironically just enjoyed the whole angsty mood that games like that can bring in. Now, admittedly, as I got older, I'm starting to like them for different reasons. Because when I was a kid and I was preteen, I was like, ooh, yeah, the guys just like want to get back at everybody. It's like, oh, it's so good. It feels so good to just kind of let it all out, let out all the anger, all the rage. And I was just always invested in characters like that. And I especially Shadow the Hedgehog again, when we took like a child-friendly franchise and we just brought in swear words just for no reason.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you get hit, go, damn it. I was like, what? What is this game doing? Oh, it's pushing the boundaries. Oh, we're going places with this one. And particularly
Mega Man
one of
did
my
it
favorite
first.
routes. Sorry?
Mega Man did it first.
Oh, really? Really? Okay, care to elaborate on that?
No, continue.
Okay, see, there we go. Sniper shots. Yeah, Mega Man did it first. No, I will not elaborate. Now, I was going to say, like, particularly the one route in Shadow the Hedgehog that I, loved so much was the route when you were a good guy all the way at the very end. And then you betrayed Sonic at the very end. And the dialogue that played at that scene always stuck with me. It was like, Shadow, why are you betraying us? And Shadow's like, I'm not betraying you. I'm siding with anyone that's going against you. And I was like, that's it. That's the whole idea. I was like, yes, I just want to lash out at everybody. Now, as I got older, I'm still like that trope, but for a very different reason. Because nowadays I look at Shadow the Hedgehog and I'm like, you are so adorable. You are trying so hard. And it just makes me want to cheer you on. Yeah, keep going, you little edgelord. You can do it. And so yeah, that is what I actually like. So I will never get tired of seeing that kind of trope. All right. So who's up next? Or if somebody has anything to say,
To be on the
go
flip
right
side,
ahead.
that's actually
I'm exposed,
one of
so
my
stab me.
most hated.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cannot stand characters who are edgy just for the sake of being edgy, i.e. Shadow. But one of my tropes that I do enjoy that most people hate is like the chosen one. If done well. I do believe that if the chosen one is just like random human, starts at level 1, random town, has no interaction with anything related to the story, that sucks. But if for some reason, you're in some fighter's guild, you have some background story, you're related to the person who is murdered, that is the catalyst of starting the story on its way, and you are for some magical decree the chosen one, I do prefer that. And then you kind of fall into the hero role, whether wanted or not. But the edgy edgelord, Mr. I'm always angry and everything sucks, I'm the victim of everything, is just not appealing to me whatsoever.
All right, so I definitely see where you're coming from. Maestro guy, I just want to point out your comment. I wouldn't say Shadow is edgy just for the sake of being edgy. The guy has like serious PTSD. I agree with you right up until post Shadow the Hedgehog, because you are 100% right that he does have serious PTSD. Unfortunately, modern Shadow completely forgets all that, and he's just edgy for the sake of being edgy. So yeah, Aaron is 100% right on modern Shadow. But yeah, I was talking about Shadow the Hedgehog game and prior.
Modern Shadow takes the chip and eats it.
Yeah. Wow. All right, we're gonna go for super obscure references there. All right. How many people even understand that?
I also do agree with Scattered Sprites. Shulk is fantastic.
Now, there was one thing
one
thing you did say that I'm not gonna let you get away with, though.
Uh-oh.
You said if done well. And
yes.
That is not. Yeah, I'm gonna fight that one, because any trope is gonna be good if done well.
Well, except for the edgy protagonist.
Well, it's because it can't be done well. However, that's why I clarified and said I gave my examples, right? So if you're some level 1 nobody that is just all of a sudden your hero, I don't consider that being done well. But if you have a reason to be the chosen one, that would be the side that I would consider being done well.
Yeah, well, the problem with that is that if done well is a nice cop-out for any kind of bad trope. But no, we got to take that out.
Except for edgy protagonists.
I'm going to stick you with a knife.
Someone
right.
Keep track of how many times we threaten to stab 10, please.
Oh, yeah, and vice versa. Yeah. See, told you. We weren't going to get out of this without threatening to kill each other.
I will stab you, Nova, with a kiss on the cheek.
Stab you with love. That's a different take on kill him with kindness.
Kill you like Cupid.
Yeah. All right. Well then. So, okay, but if we're going to have that qualifier, It's like, all right, well, if we want edgy main protagonists, if done well, yeah, a good example for that being done well would be if they are given like legit reasons for being angry. So let's take out.
There's never a justified reason to be an edgelord.
So that's a whole different terminology, because that's edgelord is, I agree, that is very by itself a derogatory term. But someone who legit has like anger, or someone who has had a violent past, or someone who has been put in a bad spot in life, someone who may have been growing up in a bad position, in a bad environment, and would learn to is very distrusting of others. I don't think that's bad writing to have that.
That is
where
true,
they
but
go from there, that's a whole different argument. Like if they start angry and then end angry, like if they start angry and then end angry, then yeah, I would agree that there's not enough like going for that. But yeah, I think with good writing, you should be able to pull that off. And that kind of story also resonates with people who have felt very alone when they were growing up.
But also, being alone and being angry aren't what makes someone edgy.
Fair enough.
I think those can be side effects of, or comorbidities, I guess, of someone who is edgy. And I think that anger, when like channeled appropriately, like you said, not just angry for the sake of being angry and staying angry forever with no change, can be a good narrative tactic. But just being edgy to be cool and get attention, that's the sort of edgy trope that just doesn't work.
So I take it, okay, this is going to be, I don't know how many of you guys have played Devil May Cry, so I'm just wondering what her take on V would be. Because he definitely dresses like the edgelord, but he's also he has his lighthearted moments, and also he just loves reading poetry just because it's cool. But he definitely matches the edgelord's aesthetic to a T.
I haven't played Devil May Cry though, unfortunately.
Yeah. I wonder how many people in chat have, and can back me up on this. Please, somebody back me up on this. I don't want to be alone. All right. Well.
So now, if we're talking tropes that are not popular that we like, I actually don't really know if my particular tropes that I like are necessarily unpopular per se. So if I were to have one that I could perceive as being unpopular, but could probably not be, but I'm taking a wild lucky guess on this one, I would say possibly the damsel in distress. I know it's a bit of an overplayed trope, but there's always something kind of cathartic about someone who is waiting for you, and just once you finally reach your destination, she's all in your arms. And what I'm saying Ozzy, is that I don't know. I think it's just something about, there's something about rescuing someone that you care about that. Listen, Rhyme, I do love strong female characters, but sometimes it's nice for a female character to just want to be saved. I feel like
would you feel the same way if it was a man in that position?
Sure. Absolutely. The damsel in distress doesn't have to be like a romantic thing. It could be like a friend or something like that. Like if there's like like a best friend who let me think of a good example of a best friend who is a sort of damsel in distress. Okay, I got one for you. This is for anyone who has not played Final Fantasy IV. This is for anyone who has not played Final Fantasy IV. This is going to be relatively spoiler, so I'm telling you now to get the hell out of here if you don't want to be spoiled of Final Fantasy IV. I have
nice.
always...
Tell them to leave on the pilot episode. Can't
Get the
they
fuck
just
outta
like
here,
cover
guys.
their head, cover their ears,
Cover your ears.
and
Put
just
your
go
head
la
in the
la
sand.
la la as loud as they can
Put
for
your
like
head in the
5
sand.
minutes or so?
Family Guy is going to be doing a reference to Muhammad, so just put your head in the sand, guys. I've always thought of a damsel in distress character as, believe it or not, Cain from Final Fantasy IV. Because he is this guy who is stuck in a situation that he really has no way of getting out. He's brainwashed. He's the main character's best friend, and he's stuck in this situation. He has absolutely no way of getting out. And I've always liked this idea of trying to help your friend, like, through this situation, but like, I don't know. I feel that Cain perfectly embodies the male's damsel in distress. He's just this guy who is shit out of luck, and he has no control of himself.
Not sure I would agree with that, just because of the nature of how he got into that position. Because if
I do agree with you on that.
Correct. If my memory is correct, like he wasn't captured, like he was manipulated, and was he wasn't brainwashed per se, but his own like jealousy over Cecil was enhanced. It was more like a suggestion that was like a total brainwashing.
Just because you're jealous or have envy of a person doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to hate that person, or you're going to... What I feel happened with Final Fantasy IV was that whatever spell was cast on Cain, it was something that was allowed to transpire because of his feelings towards Rosa. That was something that was able, like, when you harbor some kind of grudge against someone, there's always something going to linger. There's always going to something that can claw its way out. But I don't feel that if Cain was in any other position, I don't feel like he would actually betray his friend. It's believe it or not, Final Fantasy IV is a fantastic game. Honestly, go play it.
It is actually really good.
Oh god,
I think it's a fine game.
There he goes.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like I think it was fantastic and groundbreaking for its time. But having not played it at its peak, I went back and played it. I think the first time I played it was the Game Boy Advance port, and
that was the best version.
Okay, and when I played, I was like, yeah, okay, this is pretty good. But there's a lot of stuff that I just think doesn't hold up from a storytelling perspective.
that's gonna be anything from, I don't even know when that was released, 25, 30 years ago, because storytelling and narrative design and game design especially have changed a lot over the decades. And I would say especially in not just the JRPG role, but the RPG role in general, or genre, as it has become more westernized.
Then explain to me why, when I went back and played Chrono Trigger, I thought that was an absolute 10 out of 10.
Because Chrono Trigger is flawless.
Exactly. All right, so it sounds like bad writing is timeless. So
sometimes.
Yeah, and good writing is also timeless. So stuff that didn't make a lot of sense back then probably still wouldn't make sense now.
You give me a chance. I'll think of some flaws for Chrono Trigger. I will think of some flaws.
Anyway, moving
there
on.
Actually are some.
We're gonna...
I got an idea. Let's talk about games that everyone likes but you hate.
Ooh, all right. Yeah.
And I mean, you just pick we'll go through the list. We'll do one at a time, and then we'll just do it until we don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right, fair enough.
I think this would be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, good thing. Nice little bonding moment.
Oh,
if we're
wonderful.
Talking about binding knives to flesh.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Okay, fine. Who wants to start off?
Aaron, why don't you start us off? Tell us a game that you hate but everyone loves.
So, for those of you who weren't in our pre-stream chat, 10 is asking me because I teased them that I have one of this on this list that I know for a fact that Nova will 100% disagree with. I cannot stand the Persona series. I think that it is a glorified dating sim pretending to be an RPG with questionable ethics and morals, several of which I know are based in Japanese culture, so I can't shame that. But for it to be localized and still continue said questionable morals and ethics is, to reuse the same word, questionable. I also find that the gameplay loop is repetitive and boring, and because of that, I have never finished a Persona game despite starting and attempting to finish all of them. And I just think that the battle system, in addition to that, is not super great most of the time. It feels very heavily reliant on RNG. And a lot of the NPC dialogue that is supposed to be the selling point of this series, you're getting to know these characters, they're meant to be your friends. They're very vapid and hollow human beings. And I just can't understand why people are so obsessed with it.
Well, guys, I think we had a good run, but we're gonna go ahead and put an end to this whole podcast idea.
The game I think is Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh! All right. Hang on a minute.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I will boil the ocean to make sure that you fry in there.
I just wanted to see what you said. That's all. Sekiro.
Okay, now you're just trying too hard.
I know, that was hard.
Hey, I had reasons.
No, it's a good reason. No, and I get what you're saying. I kind of I like Persona to some degree, but I do get where you're coming from as far as like the battle system. I find the battle system be kind of repetitive for a Persona, which is ironic because I love that kind of battle system. But I get exactly where you're coming from with Persona, and I kind of agree with you. I've never finished a Persona game because they kind of get boring pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for
so
a game
quick
that's
question.
like 80 hours long, for it to get boring within the first 10 to 15 max, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you think Persona games are only 80 hours long? I wish they were 80 hours long.
Like I said, I've never finished one. The longest I made was 11 hours in 4 Golden.
4. Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense.
Nova,
Because-
why don't you piss us off?
I mean, hang on a minute. I'm not sure we're
And
done with this one
defend your
yet.
ground.
Though, I mean, to be fair, when it comes to recommending games like that, there's a lot of creepy anime bullshit, and everyone's tolerance for creepy anime bullshit is very different. So it's always really hard to recommend that kind of like games like this.
For sure.
Yeah, so I completely understand. I don't agree with a lot of the reasons. And admittedly, when I'm thinking about the Persona series, I'm thinking about the main cast, especially 4. 4, there were some cast members in 4 that were one-to-one representatives of what my own high school life was like. Shout outs to Kanji Tatsumi, who was the best boy of the entire series, I think. And yeah, so, but I do know, I do get that it was also influenced by a lot of creepy, overly horny anime tropes at the time. So I definitely get it, but it just doesn't bother me that much. And the Persona games also have, I think, a fantastic gameplay loop where both the dungeon crawling and the life sim elements complement each other. So you go to dungeons, you get new personas, you train them, and then you level up your party. You take loot back to the town areas to not only upgrade your gear, but also to interact with your social links, to gain new abilities and new upgrades for your eventual fusions. And then it's a self-sustaining system that I think works very well. And in the idea about the battles being RNG dependent, I could argue that point, but at the same time, it is an SMT game, and SMT games do have a lot of bullshit to them. I think the actual term is Shin Megami Tensei bullshit, which we could do an entire episode on that if you guys even played an SMT game. But yeah, there are some decisions that I think are incredibly dumb in Persona 5 that I definitely will not do on my end. But lovable jank is still jank. So if people don't like that, I completely get it. Yeah. That being said, you are all dead to me.
Well, then tell us what you hate, Nova.
Okay, fine. Erin wants to talk about how much like she hates these kinds of RPGs. Well, guess what? I think Skyrim is probably one of the most boring games I've ever played. Let's go. Say something there.
I agree.
Yeah, as I say, I have never played it, so
Like,
because I've been afraid of that.
The only good Elder Scrolls, in my opinion, is Morrowind. And even that's kind of a boring game.
See, I haven't even played Morrowind, and I probably would say that that's also boring. So the thing is, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You do your thing.
I was gonna say, so I kind of like the idea of an open world game, but what the biggest selling point of Skyrim, from what I've noticed about the marketing, was the immersion. And it's really hard to get immersed when there's only 3 voice actors for all the NPCs in the entire region, and half of them all say the exact same lines. I was like, this is not Skyrim, this is the Matrix, and there's some serious glitching going on.
You just didn't have the right mods for your game. You obviously didn't have the Macho Man Randy Savage mod in your Skyrim.
Ah, yes. It's a mark of a great game when you need the community to complete the game for you.
It's not so much the community completing the game. It's Macho Man Randy Savage replacing all of the dragons.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, right. So you're trying to say that Skyrim only has a right to exist as a shitpost?
Yes.
Gotcha. So the other reason why I hate Skyrim is because I do not believe there are any games that can handle first-person melee combat well. They have all been strafing and then just mashing the attack button. The attacks are very unsatisfying, very like basic, and I've tried to play Skyrim 5 different times. Each time I've tried to bring out a different loadout, and it's just bleh. It all boils down to the same thing.
To be honest, a lot of that has to do with Bethesda. Bethesda basically just makes the same game over and over and over. Even Fallout 3 and 4 are just Elder Scrolls, but in a post-apocalyptic universe.
Yeah, but those games work because they're not melee focused. You can shoot people.
No, this is true. This is true.
It's a FPS. And guess what? Guess what? I played Fallout 3 and 4, and I thought they were way, way better than Skyrim.
So you need to play Fight Crab.
What's that?
I don't know. Scattered Sprites just said it in chat.
Yeah. So, and then the last one, and this actually I lied when I said the immersion was the biggest selling point, because the biggest issue I have with Skyrim, other than the other 2 ones, were the dragon fights. And I can tell you guys the exact moment that I put away Skyrim, and I just never went back to it. I was fighting a dragon. It was actually one of the few times in the game I was actually enjoying the fight, because I was figuring out their dodge patterns. I was running around, getting out of the way of the flames, and then we were fighting. Both of our health were getting really low, and then I want to say I had about like 25% health left. I was facing the dragon's ass, right? I was right behind it. Suddenly, a cutscene played where the dragon snapped backwards at 180 degrees and then just ate me. And then that was just a takedown animation. I was like, I didn't even get hit! And the game just decided that I was going to die.
But it ate you with the dragon. That's what dragons do.
You became a part of the dragon, Nova. You became a part of the dragon's
and then I was excreted from the dragon.
That's how the game continues. You now play as a piece of poo who has to roll across Skyrim. The only thing I will say about Skyrim is I love the atmosphere of the game. I've always enjoyed snowy atmospheres in video games, like just to no end, like Icewind Dale or Skyrim.
So I'm a Souls player, right? I like me some Dark Souls. So I'm very used to, and also I'm a Shin Megami Tensei fan. I'm used to the concept of dying. But the problem is, when the game snaps me to a death animation when I wasn't even hit, that's the moment where I was like, yep, I'm done. Nope. But yeah, that is my hot take. That was very satisfying to let out.
All right.
This podcast was worth it just for that alone.
All right, guys. I'm not going to name a specific franchise or a specific game.
Coward.
I'm going to throw out the fishnet and pull in a whole bunch of games at one time. 99% of the Nintendo 64 library.
Hate you.
There are so many Nintendo 64 games that I fucking hate. I hate Super Mario 64. I hate Ocarina of Time. I fucking hate GoldenEye 007.
Ooh, all right.
I think these games are so insufferably boring. I hated I fucking despise GoldenEye. I think it is just a boring. It looks ugly. The controls are like, it's like a snail's pace. They're insufferable. I hate Banjo-Kazooie. I hate Donkey Kong 64. I hate Diddy Kong Racing. I hate Mario Kart 64.
Wow.
Yes, I hate Banjo.
Stop!
Banjo's
They're
fantastic.
already dead.
Donkey Kong is also fantastic, for the record.
Wait,
Best Donkey Kong game in
Donkey
the
Kong
series
64?
is the one on 64.
Now, that's not to say I hate every game on the N64. There are games on the N64 that I enjoy, but 99% of them are fucking garbage. I hate Pilot Wings. I hate fucking...
The 64 Pilot Wings, to be fair, was terrible.
Okay, let me ask you, 10. What is a shorter list? The N64 games you like or the N64 games you hate?
Like.
Okay. Wow.
I can count all the
N64. So
I can count. No, Sega Saturn, Ozzy. I like the PS1, but I love the Sega Saturn. I can count them maybe on both of my hands. But I'm not sure I can finish counting them on my hands.
Okay, well, so I guess we could talk about like what specifically about those that you disliked, because I went back and I played some of those other games, like I think like future versions of them. I remember Ocarina of Time being all right. It's one of those things that's like, yeah, I can see how it like defined a lot of people's childhoods. But having not played that during my childhood, it's just another game on the
Yoshi Story. I hate Yoshi Story.
Okay.
Majora's Mask is the superior 64 Zelda game.
Yes.
It's fine, but I still hate it.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna keep.
Okay. So here's my issue with the N64 in general. First and foremost, I'm not going to discredit the N64 because it is an important console. It revolutionized so many things. But the problem with the N64 is it aged like eggs.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
you can go I can go back, like when I even some of the earlier N64 games, when I played them, they were like, okay, this is boring now. I don't want to play this anymore. Like Mario 64, I've never liked that game. I just it all has to do with art direction. It all has to do with, it feels so samey. The music in that game is insufferable. If I have to listen to do 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 do, I'm gonna fucking choke myself.
Well, guess what? It's in your head now.
I'm gonna fucking David Carradine myself. I hate that fucking game. I hate now, but like I said, there are games for the N64 I enjoy. Like I enjoy Kirby 64. I enjoy Mischief Makers. I know White Smoke's is gonna hate me for saying that I enjoy Mischief Makers. I enjoy Star Fox. I like Harvest Moon, but the number of games that I like for the N64 are just so few and far between, and it's just I can't play an N64 game without wanting to smash my hands with the door.
Okay.
What games do I like from that time? I mean, there's a lot of games that I like from that time, specifically with like the PlayStation Saturn era. But I mean, I'm just here to piss people off right now.
No. Don't say that just for the sake of pissing people off. Let your opinions piss people off.
Oh, no. That's what I'm doing. I'm pissing people off with my opinions and objective facts.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Here's my opinions, but they are objective facts. Yeah. Okay, says every game journalist ever.
It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to say I hated, but then I was like, no, it's got to be the N64 as a whole.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, and I hate all the Mario Party games.
You just don't like having friends.
Every single one.
I don't think it's that he hates having friends. I think it's just that it reminds him that he doesn't.
Ouch. Well, I mean, Mario
Unfortunately,
Party is
Aaron
not really the
speaks
game that you
truth.
want to play with your friends if you want to keep their friends.
I don't know. I've never fought over Mario Party. Dokapon Kingdom, however, that'll cost a friendship or two.
I have not played I've seen that, and I was like, oh my god! Like
so
the
good.
designers had to be aware that that is the kind of game that
What is it called?
Dokapon Kingdom.
Dokapon Kingdom.
I am legit shocked that there are no sightings of that game on criminal manifestos.
Oh man.
It's amazing.
Because
Highly recommend.
it's the main difference between Mario Party and Dokapon Kingdom is that Mario Party has a lot of randomness deciding on whose friendship you're going to end because of the minigame setup. Dokapon, all of it is 100% intentional. You choose to go after a certain person, to fight them, to take their stuff. You choose to take their towns away from them and watch them suffer in poverty while you rest on your mountain of gold. Every misfortune that happens to other people is a direct consequence of a conscious decision made by players. You cannot blame anybody other than them.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
It's like Monopoly, but if there wasn't any sort of like trading and like befriending and partnering up, like sometimes Monopoly can have.
Man, Monopoly's giving me PTSD just thinking about it.
Well, then you'll get some Dokapon PTSD.
I almost lost $10 on Monopoly because my brother quit a game of Monopoly. He's like, I'm done playing. He's like, here, give me your properties. What? It's like, I'll give you $10 to give me your properties.
Really?
Because I wanted to win. It was Monopoly.
Well, you caused them to self-bankrupt. Doesn't that count as a win?
No, he was getting tired and bored. He wanted to go play video games.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because Monopoly sucks and it's boring.
Oh boy, you seem like the kind of person that'd be addicted to gacha games just to keep going. He's like, the game's not that great, but you have to just sink money into it just to keep going.
Let me just go ahead and delete my phone real quick.
Delete your whole phone, huh?
But I go put it in the paper shredder.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I think that was it for me. Do we have anything else?
No, let's you know what? Let's talk about our favorite game.
A favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time. Let's talk about that.
Oh, man.
I'll go first this time. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VI. And I have multiple reasons for that. Now, Final Fantasy VI is by no means a perfect game, but to me, it's all based on things like music direction, the art design. I love just the way the game looks, the way the game sounds. I love how the game feels. I like the way the characters move. There is really nothing about Final Fantasy VI except for one little thing that I don't like about that game, which is more or less a nitpick, and just I played that game so much that it's easy. It's an easy game. and it's only easy because I know exactly what to do. I played that game more times than I can count. So that's really my only nitpick with that game. But like the game itself is like it's beautiful. It's got like I love the way the pixel art matches Yoshitaka Amano's art. I love the way the music just kind of has this sort of this crunchy sound to it. Not the pixel remasters. The pixel remaster for Final Fantasy VI looks like vomit, and it sounds like vomit.
But the okay, we need to do a podcast episode for you just go off about the pixel remaster because
I can go on and on about them.
I've listened to this man talk about it. I
should elaborate. It's only Final Fantasy VI's pixel remaster that I hate. It's only Final Fantasy VI's pixel remaster I hate. I think the others look great. The only problem that I have with Final Fantasy VI's pixel remaster is what they did with the colors. Because remember when we were talking about colors in pixel art, Nova? We had you put the sprites on a grayscale for the SNES sprites, and the ones for the SNES sprites, you could tell what was what. But on the pixel remaster, it just all looked like dim grays blending together. It's how many colors can we put on one sprite as humanly possible, and that's not what pixel art is supposed to be. Pixel art is supposed to be choosing which colors you can put on there. It's supposed to be it's supposed to make things pop out, despite still being pixel art. It's supposed to make it pop out. It's supposed to keep it's supposed to look crisp. That's why it's pixel art. And the other thing is the pixel art in Final Fantasy VI was always a sort of they're sepia tones. If you look at Final Fantasy VI, it always has this sort of sepia feel to it. But the pixel remaster...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but one thing I couldn't control, an ad just played. So a lot of people are not going to hear this. I don't know if you want to keep going. I guess you can keep saying that for the sake of the VOD. Yeah, I was just now thinking about that. But yeah, people are...
We're back? Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
I love the sepia tones of Final Fantasy VI. It's also my bias as well. I got to, I can't tell the story enough, but I've actually met Nobuo Uematsu. He actually signed my copy of Final Fantasy VI for me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, dude, you wanna know how that happened? You ready for me to do some? Okay. Have you ever heard of Distant Worlds?
No.
Distant Worlds is the official Final Fantasy concert. My wife got to sing in the choir for it.
Nice.
And I got to meet Nobuo Uematsu, and he signed my FF6. That was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
It was the coolest fucking shit ever. So to say I'm biased would be... it would be an understatement.
Fair enough.
I had a guy who's like, how do you know that it's his signature? It's like, because I watched him sign it. There you go.
Amazing.
All right, who's next? Tell us your favorite game, whoever's next.
Aaron, go ahead.
So Ozzy mentioned this in chat, that it's really difficult to pick a very favorite game. So I'm kind of going on gut instinct here, because I would say that I either really love games or I just don't like them at all. And so my absolute gut thought here, and what is always the easiest answer for me when people ask me what my favorite game is Super Mario RPG. Either the original or the remake. The remake is actually phenomenal, which doesn't often happen with remakes. But I think that it is one of the best paced RPGs that I have ever played. It has a good split between fighting versus minigame versus story, and it has its own unique, quirky sense of humor and gameplay. But it gives familiar characters that you already know and kind of are friends, quote unquote, with, a whole new spin by putting them in such a different universe than you're used to seeing them. So it feels new but old at the same time, and overall it's just really rewarding and surprisingly replayable for an RPG.
Yeah, it is. I completely agree with you wholeheartedly. I can't count the number of times that I've gone back just to play Super Mario RPG. Like I've played that multiple times in my life, and I still do every once in a while. I actually picked up the remake because it's such a well done remake, and as you said, remakes just aren't done well anymore.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
I
Ness.
really respected what they did with the remake because they not only like updated all of the art and really made it feel like it was a game that was made for the Switch and not the SNES, but they added quality of life things that kind of brought it into modern RPGs, still kind of young RPGs. Like
Yeah.
it's not meant for an adult audience necessarily, but it really made it feel accessible to everyone in that way. Um, yeah, it's a cozy game, and like even with the remake, I mean, it came out what, a year and a half ago. I've played it start to finish 6 times already,
The,
and that's just the remake.
the remake does such a good job at making it playable for new players while still maintaining what makes it so enjoyable the first time around. Like I remember Final Super Mario RPG was actually the first game that I stayed up all night playing, and I lost track of time. When I first got that game, I stayed up till 6 in the morning playing that game. Thankfully it was the weekend, so I went to bed. I woke up at 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that was like me with Persona 5. I'm sure you can relate to that, Aaron.
Oh yes, such a great game with so much
But yeah,
replayability.
I played Super Mario RPG as well. I never owned it. I always played it at a friend's place. But I remember like the concept of Mario and a turn-based RPG alone was enough for me to be like, hold up, what? But I never owned a Super Nintendo, so I never really got my to actually play it. But and the remake is something that's been on my list for a long time. It's just time.
Oh, you owe it to yourself to play it.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself.
Yeah, but yeah, that is something we can talk about in a future podcast, like the purpose of remakes, because that's something that's been on my mind for a long time, ever since Resident Evil 2 remake. But yeah, that is definitely something that we should think about. But yeah, I completely get why Super Mario RPG was so loved, because it didn't feel like a Mario game with an RPG with a Mario name slapped on it. Like it felt like a legit transition, like a Mario formula legitimately transitioning to an RPG format. So yeah, I completely
yeah.
My Mario RPG experience is Paper Mario: 1,000-Year Door. So that is the Super Mario RPG for me.
You know, it's funny. I remember BioWare trying to do this with Sonic the Hedgehog, making their Sonic the Hedgehog RPG.
We were having a good time, man.
We'll save that for another day.
As a Sonic fan and a BioWare fan, I am deceased from that.
All right, Nova, your turn.
So just like you, Aaron, just like Ozzy, it's very hard to pinpoint what is my one favorite game of all time, because there are several games that I would put as my favorite game of all time, each for different reasons. But for me, if I had to start at the very top, I would have to go with the game that made me want to start designing games in the first place. So there are games that have had more impact on me since, but when I first played Tales of Symphonia, the story, the characters, the unique take on the battle system was enough for me to be like, yeah, this is something special. And specifically, when we went to the Tower of Salvation for the first time, I remember that very clearly. When all the events of that happening, that was actually the day I had to return the game to Blockbuster. I don't know if anybody remembers what a Blockbuster is. But
those are haunted now.
Yeah, yeah. So the events of the Tower of Salvation was like, child me started crying at that, because I was like, this is probably the most that a video game or a piece of media in general has ever made me feel. And when it came time to return it, I ran into my room. I locked myself in. I was like, no, I'm not going out until I can keep this. And yeah, so that was the first time I actually held a video game hostage. So that was an interesting one. But
Nice.
yeah, so eventually we got it renewed, and I no-lifed that game for like the next 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
when I got out of the Tower of Salvation and all the established plot points and the structure stuff that the characters had come to rely on at the beginning was broken down, I was thinking to myself in those moments, I want to be able to do that. And so that was the game that made me start thinking about game design and development. And yeah, and that's how I turned out the way that I did, for better or worse.
That's actually the same with me and Final Fantasy VI.
Which
I
game
always
was this?
wanted to-
That's Tales of Symphonia, Maestro guy.
Meister guy's cool as hell. He's
Yeah.
a musician.
Yeah.
He's sexy. But no, I agree with you. That was the same with me in Final Fantasy VI because I always wanted to make an RPG thanks to that game. I mean, I've always wanted to make games in general. Like, I've always wanted to make my own Mega Man style game. I've always wanted to make my own, well, Final Fantasy. But I mean, honestly, and me and Maestro have talked about Final Fantasy VI on various occasions. Like, we it's so amazing when people talk about music in video games. Me and Maestro have talked about the music in Final Fantasy VI because there's so many people who don't really understand the why the music in Final Fantasy VI is as good as it is. Like when you look at the music in the towns. I mean, I'm sure you've played Final Fantasy VI, Nova, Aaron.
I have not beaten it, but yes, I have.
So the one thing, like, if you notice in the music in Final Fantasy VI, and in particular the town music, it goes do 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 do.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. It's not a happy song. It sounds happy, but the thing that I like about that song is it's more so sounds like relief. It sounds like relief from stress. It sounds like a guy just coming into his house after a long day work, putting off his shoes and just sitting on the chair watching the football game. That's this kind of feeling that I get listening to this song. And that's like one of the parts of what made me want to make video games. I want something to feel like stress but relief at the same time. There's so many. I think that it's not meant to be that way, Nova. You clear that dirty gutter mind of yours.
I wasn't laughing until I wasn't laughing when you said that. I read that comment. I read Steel Soldier's comment right after you started saying something. The first noise I made was in understanding.
The guy came all over the place. He came home, grabbed his drink, and he just came and came and came.
I thought nothing of it when Ten said it, but the comment did me in. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But no, it's stress relief. And that comes with a lot of the music in that game. And a lot of the way that game feels. And it's like with Mario RPG, it's not just an RPG with Mario slapped on it. It's an actual Mario game. It's a game that feels like a Mario game. It's an RPG, but it feels like a Mario game. It has it has the jump, it has the atmosphere. It's not just a shitty RPG like Sonic Chronicles and the Dark Brotherhood. It's an actually good RPG that's Mario themed. It's a Mario RPG. And then the Tales of Symphonia, I've always enjoyed, the thing I've always enjoyed about the Tales of series is the sort of fantastical vibes that the games portray. Like they always take you to these weird places that it almost feels like it feels like an actual fantasy. It's not just a generic forest. I mean, there are forests and whatnot in other RPGs, but like Like I remember one stage in Tales of Destiny where you're going inside of a dragon temple to find a talking sword, and it's just that is always the cool stuff that the Tales of series has always provided.
Mm-hmm.
The Tales of series, there's a reason the Tales of series is so widely beloved. I feel like it's always got this sort of fantastical element to it.
A fantasy, if you will.
A fantasy, but it's not a Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X sucks, by the way.
Ooh.
7's worse.
Ooh. Well, all right.
That was my other game, for the record.
Final Fantasy X or 11?
Yeah, 7.
Oh, 7.
It's 7. 7 is fine. I don't love 7, but 10 sucks.
Having played both,
But I would say
oh god, spoilers. Stop spoilers. So yeah, like the big.
The game. I played that game out of high school. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 42 in a couple weeks.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at your age. I was laughing at that at the comment from White Smoke. I've been Team 1063 through this until that hot take.
I knew it was gonna be something.
Yeah, like if we're not pissing off chat at some point, we're not doing a good enough job.
I love how Lulu cucked Waka by naming their kid after her original love interest.
What?
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. I believe that's what it was. He named. Is that what? Wait. What was Waka Lulu's son's name? Oh wait, this wasn't even born yet. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Hang on a minute. That was. First off, Lulu had a son? I don't remember that.
Well, she's pregnant in Final Fantasy X too.
Okay, well that explains it. I don't think I made it that far into 10-2. I made it
People
like
played
1 hour.
10-2?
Like, not for me.
I did.
Why?
It was a new Final Fantasy at the time.
I guess. Clearly, I don't have high opinions of that one either.
Yeah, like I played like an hour of that, and I was just like,
Never mind.
Nah.
I was wrong. I'm fake information. I'm fake news.
There we go. All right, 10 out here spreading misinformation. Wait, whoa! What are you congratulating me on my pregnancy? What are you talking about, Steel Soldier? What? Hang on, let me check.
I told Steel it's okay. You can tell everyone. You can tell everyone.
Tell him what?
Well, Steel Soldier, just let the cat out of the bag. We've been trying for a while, Steel Soldier, but it finally happened.
No, fuck that. Where's a spoon? I'm getting this thing out.
Here, you want to use a coat hanger?
Okay, fine.
Line. Watch that line.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Well, that. So, is that how we're gonna end off? Because it's been.
That is such a horrible note.
That is a terrible note to end off on. God damn it. This was not supposed to end this way. Perhaps it's trying to wrestle this train back on the tracks so hard. We're trying. We're trying. Result: Nova is pregnant and 10 is the father. Life finds a way, I guess. Even when the organism is unwilling.
On that note, consent is important.
Yes,
and
yes it is.
I think that
Very
hits our
important.
hour.
Yep, that'll do it.
At least that's an uplifting note to end on.
Remember, guys,
ask permission.
Yeah, ask permission. Didn't think you'd be getting life lessons from the Conditional Branch podcast, huh? You never know what you'll end up with. All right, well, yeah, so these podcasts were only meant to be about an hour long, and we have taken care of that and then some. So that will do it for today. So I'm hoping.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun. just kind of sit back and chill. So regarding future podcasts, they will be done at the same time. However, they will be on their own dedicated channel. And
I can link that right now. In fact.
Okay, yeah, sure. And we will.
We just. Let me see. Can you shout it out since I'm not a mod?
Right, yeah. Where is the? I know which one you're talking about. I forgot to follow that because I'm terrible and unfaithful apparently.
Wow.
Oh, there you are. I found it. Yeah. That would be this one. So yeah, we have a channel set up for dedicated. For the dedicated future episodes of Conditional Branch. It is SO, right?
Shout out.
Yeah.
Forward.
The actual name. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So go check that. Go follow that place. That place.
I'll be putting.
It's a place. Yes, it's a place now.
I'll be putting some more information throughout the week. I'm gonna be getting some of that stuff taken care of.
Yep. And
we're not
I
gonna
will
open up.
continue to shout it out for our streams this week.
Yep.
But yeah, so until then, if you just want to get an update on us specifically, let's see. Can I do multiple shoutouts?
I think you have to wait a minute in between
Oh, that's dumb.
to do a caster shout like that.
Fine.
But-
then we'll wait.
Both of our usernames are linked in the title of the stream. If the caster shout doesn't work, I know
yeah,
it's
that's
slightly
right.
less convenient, but you can click on us.
Yeah. Should be able
The
to.
I will
baby
warn
shower
you.
will be next Sunday, by the way, Maestro.
I stream very inconsistently, so if you want to hear from me, good luck.
I guess if you guys are here, chances are you probably know me. But for those that don't, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I do a mix of game development and video game playing and critiquing. So 10, what's your schedule?
I just do whenever I want to.
Hey, that works.
I stream. I've been streaming. Mostly I stream. I've been doing artwork. I've been doing pinups. I've been doing RPG Maker. But lately, the two games that I've been playing on Twitch are this wizardry mobile game, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge. Every once in a while, my friend will drag me out of whatever I'm doing to play Double Dragon.
Nice.
I guess I should say what I actually stream too, so I don't mislead people.
Yeah.
I stream solely game dev. I am working on a classic-styled RPG game. In RPG Maker. And I stream at a European-friendly time. I usually stream around 11:30 Eastern.
RPG
But,
game.
yeah.
What do you think the G in RPG stands for?
Let me just interrupt for 1 second, Aaron. That's actually a good point. Before we go, we should talk about our main projects. Just a quick little summary on what we're working on. Finish
Well,
your game, Aaron, please.
I guess that's a.
No, let Aaron finish. Let Aaron finish. I want to hear her talk more about our game.
Yeah, talk more about your RPG game. Yeah, please do
My
that.
my RPG game inspired by the classics like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy. It's not entirely untrue, but it's a joke. I am working on a semi-open world RPG that is focused a lot around character relationships, both from a narrative standpoint as well as in gameplay. Your battles, like skills and style, will change based on who you have in your party. And basically, it's about how much the government, religion, and the military suck.
Topics we can all relate to.
Yeah.
All right, 10, you're up.
Actually, I'm typing some. Go ahead and you go ahead and you're yours.
Well, technically it's not announced yet, so I don't want to go too deeply into it, but it is going to be, it's more of like a dungeon crawler / life sim game. And yeah, you're going to spend time in dungeons collecting resources and then come back to town to upgrade your resources and spend to upgrade resources? Wow, I cannot talk. Good thing I'm not doing something that requires a lot of talking, right? Yeah, so you go back to town, spend your resources to upgrade your party, and then spend time with villagers to increase your bonds with them to make your next dungeon foray that much more easier. I will be developing that game on Monday. But yeah.
All right. So I'm technically working on 2 separate projects. One of them is sort of on a short hiatus. That one is Isekai Cowboy, and really the only reason I've got it on a hiatus is because I'm currently looking into finding someone who can help me program it because of reasons I'm not going to go into. But our Isekai Cowboy is a classic retro style RPG game that is based off of the likes of Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Persona, Tales of Symphonia, Mario RPG, Breath of Fire, Robotech, Lufia, Lunar, Mega Man, GoldenEye 007.
I was about to say, like, okay, I couldn't tell when the serious inspirations began and when they were becoming trolls.
Boku no Piku.
Why?
Wait, I mean, but the other one is actually is actually a not safe for work game for the purpose of making money. I won't go too much into it. If you want to know more about it, just ask me directly and I'll tell you. But that's the one I'm working on right now for the sake of actually making money. Because I need to make money to help fund Isekai Cowboy.
Yeah, Candy Crush.
I love my
Clans.
Candy Crush RPG game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your
I'm gonna have an
Japanese
aneurysm.
JRPG game. I think we're good to go. Oh, Candy Crush, Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, Captain Novolin,
What about Fortnite?
League of Legends,
Oh,
Overwatch, Concord,
Crash Bandicoot.
Hi-Fi Rush,
No.
Skyrim,
No.
Roblox.
Oh man, just this
Minecraft.
unholy amalgamation, human centipeded together.
The Love Hina dating sim from Newgrounds.
I hate that I know what you're talking about. I hate that I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, we can end this now, right? I'm just
All right,
we're
guys.
just stalling for time
It
so I can
was-
give everyone their proper shout outs.
Guys, it was fun having you all here. This was fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
This was fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, we're not 100% sure what we're going to talk about, but we will be talking about some general game design ideas and just hopefully having some heated argument, some nice discussions about them.
Some polite debate.
Yeah, polite debate, just with knives on the backs. Just
For
in
sure.
case. Just in
Sure.
case. Just in
As
case.
long as
We're
as
bringing.
long as it's a consensual stabbing.
That is not a term I thought we would ever hear about here. Consensual stabbing. All right, breaking new grounds.
I mean, some people do that to themselves all the time.
You should.
I suggest you talk about
Anyway.
touch-based versus random encounter. Oh, that's on the list. Don't you worry.
Oh, trust me, we've got
That-
some
that is on the
opinions on
list.
that.
Yeah.
We've got opinions there.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
on that note, we're just going to go ahead and finish it off. Thank you all so much for dropping by. I gave everyone their shout-outs. Go follow everybody else, especially the CB podcast. And really do appreciate where you guys taking the time out of your day to come in and drop by.
It was fun having you all here. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Later.
Who should we raid somebody?
Oh, should we? Who's
We
on?
Let's
should.
raid Quicks.
Oh, Quest.
She's playing
okay,
Chrono
yeah,
Trigger.
Yeah,
We're gonna raid a Chrono Trigger.
A
Okay,
good
yeah, we
tie-in.
did talk about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
did a
what
good
was
game.
that, Aaron?
I said that was a good tie-in.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, thank you all so much for dropping. Oh, wait, yeah.
Let's just
we
sing
have
a
to
little
stall
song
some
while
time now. We can't just
Throw some suggestions for what you guys would like to hear us talk about in the chat while we're waiting for the raid timer.
Okay, yeah.
And if we don't have it on our list, we'll add it.
All right, yeah, that's good. I could technically raid
Good
right
idea.
now, but I would like you guys to put something in while we wait, because we have 1
Or
minute
DM
exactly.
us.
Yeah. Favorite RM games? Yeah, I heard you. I saw you say that earlier in the chat, but we were on a roll. But yeah, I'll put that on the list. That's a good one. That's a good one. Because yeah, there are some decent ones that, and one in particular that I want to talk more about, because
Dude, there's a few I want to talk about too.
Much like Tales of Symphonia, there was like one game that made me want to go into. Well, not go into because I've already played it, but
There's
that I've
actually-
already done.
There's an RPG Maker game that influenced a major thing in Isekai Cowboy,
Hmm.
and I'll talk about that later.
Awesome.
I really would like to talk about that game because it doesn't get enough love, I don't think.
Ooh, the impact that a franchise switching platform has and why it makes Super Castlevania 4 and Symphony of the Night over it. Wow. All right. Okay,
Maestro,
well, we have
I
5
could-
seconds left, so yeah,
I
thank
would
you all so much
kiss
for
you.
dropping by. But yeah,
I could kiss you,
see you
Maestro.
at Quests. And